You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Pepper Master, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, hello. Good morning, kids. Welcome to season 3 and episode number 63 of the Daily Off to a flying start. Seriously, just like left, the starting gun went off and I tripped over the first hurdle. The Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording day is Thursday, February 23rd, 2023, and it finally looks and feels like winter here at the Beaver Lodge. It's beginning to feel a lot like winter on February 23rd. Oh, my word. It is, minus 20 with the wind chill. We had snow that was falling like freezing snow and was falling sideways for a while. So if you were walking, it was falling directly in your eyes. It was like little knives. It was so much fun. But we no longer have a green lawn in February, which is kind of less disturbing. But we're going to have this cold snap for a few days yet. So for wherever you are, bundle up. And I heard the other day it was like minus 40 something in Winnipeg. So if you're out there, we're thinking of you. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, he, Mr. EmPIERREor. And with me, as always, is my dear friend, my companion, my partner in crime, Mr. Grizzly. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Today we have a Thursday morning nibble for you. But first, hello, Mr. Grizzly. How's your mental health today?
Well, hey, Mr. Beaver. I don't know how my mental health is because I just
You're not part of this world enough.
No, I'm not. For some strange, yeah, I did. For some strange, bizarre reason, I woke up abruptly at 2:30 in the morning. Actually, it was 2:20 a.m. exactly because I just jolted out of bed. I looked at my clock and went 2:20. Why am I awake? And all of a sudden, I started hearing music, and I'm like, "Who the hell is playing music at this hour?" And I'm like, that's coming from the living room. So I walk into the living room, and for some reason, my computer decided to start playing YouTube on its own.
Oh, yay.
And I had left the volume up on the mixer, but there was no visual. Like the monitors were off, so I had to get everything up and running so I could turn it off. And I was like, okay, I got to go back to bed. Well, of course, I then lied in bed like this
Oh, well, of course, right.
till 5 a.m. when I dozed off when the alarm went off. Then the second alarm went off at 6, and I hit snooze, or at least I thought I did. And then I suddenly woke up again at 6:57 and went, "Wah!" Realizing I did not set this up last night. Usually I do this the night before. Last night I fell asleep on the couch. I don't remember going to bed. Just a whole bizarre several hours.
Okay.
I don't recall going to bed at all. Not in the least bit. So, I didn't set this up because I must have fallen asleep on the couch is all I can figure. Because usually I set this up the night before or at like 5 a.m. And none of that happened today. So that's why we're late and I'm confused.
Wow.
I'm
Well,
going to need a bucket of this.
pardon?
I'm going to need a bucket of this morning.
I had the opposite.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I played curling last night, mixed doubles, and my regular partner is up in the Yukon actually with
Oh,
visiting her son, who sometimes plays curling for Team Yukon, which is kind
oh,
of cool.
cool.
And so I was with we say a spare. I was playing with a spare, and she had played earlier that evening. So when I got to the curling arena, I couldn't find her because I didn't see anybody who looked like her in curling clothes. She had forgot she was supposed to play, so she was in her jacket having a beer and getting ready to go. She's like, "Oh, okay." We're playing, and we played this team that's normally an A division team. We have three divisions: A, B, and C. And the A division team has been having a little trouble, so they came down to B, and we beat them. We
Oh,
got
cool.
1 point every end, basically 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and yeah, we beat them. So we're second in our division by 1 point. Team number one has 10, we have 9, and got a couple of games left in the division. So last year we won C, so we're doing better because we're going to finish the year in B.
So
Woo!
when you saw her in her
Yes, I thought, oh crap,
non-curling
we're going to lose.
clothes,
She's
did
loaded.
you say, I thought you were gonna say, "Didn't recognize you with your clothes on."
Oh, I should have said that. Oh, Jen would have loved that. She's got a good
It's
sense of humor.
I've heard that from people, and I think I even made that mistake once when I was, "Hey, I didn't recognize you with your clothes on." They look at me and I go, "I mean, work your civvy clothes. Normally you're in a work out." Oh boy. It's not nearly as funny when you say it to a female coworker.
True,
It's not funny.
true.
I mean, they get it because construction, right? They get it, and they
Right.
realize that it was not meant in the way it sounded. I'm like, "No, I mean, you're in civilian I didn't." Of course, then they can proceed to laugh at you
Yeah.
ridiculously because you look like an idiot with your foot in your mouth, but,
Yeah. Back in the days when I was swimming competitively, it was the same thing. We'd
mm,
spend the whole weekend at a swim meet talking to people. Everybody's in the bathing suit, goggles, hair pulled back, like this. And, so you're like recognizing people by like their tattoos and their moles and stuff. And then you get like to the banquet after and it's like, hey, remember me? And everybody's got their hair done and whatnot. And it's like,
yeah.
oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you with your clothes on.
With your clothes on, yeah,
Hey, we
yeah.
spent the entire weekend with like pretty
Legit,
much pretty much naked.
legit.
Oh man. Good morning, Kit Saucy. Good morning, Kit Miss Sarika. Good morning, Kit Jen. Hello, you lovely person. Good morning, Kit Linda M. Kit Hugh. And Kit's programming note. We will have a special guest tomorrow on our show, and it will be Mr. Hugh Culleton. And we will
Oh,
talk about
cool.
events, a whole bunch of stuff. Yes. We kind of schemed behind your back and arranged it. So
Oh,
he's
that's
going to
cool.
show up tomorrow. And so, yeah, our first live guest on a morning show. So,
Yes. No, we've had Dean. Dean's been on the morning show.
oh, yes, he did come on one morning. That's true.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So, yeah, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. Oh, get cute. Kit Hugh goes, oh, yeah, booked time off.
And do you
Uh,
get a snow day today, Hugh, if the schools are closed? Like, how does that work as a teacher? Like, I don't understand how that works. Like, when it's a snow day, does everybody get the day off? Like, legitimately, I don't know.
Kid Hugo's so smarter than Dean. Oh, James. Hey, how you doing, Kid James? I need a Red Bull before I can be a witness to Douglas's pleasantness. Screw the Red Bull. I'll give you wings, baby. All right. Mr. Grizzly, do you have something with us to kick off our news day?
Normally, I do. I've got a. Oh well, there's this little thing. You know, one of our new title sponsors, Eleganza. Well,
Ooh.
I think I may have found another sponsor, but I'm not. I haven't quite got it nailed down. But I'll give you like a precursor, like a little teaser. So here it is. This is the latest style from
Ooh. Oh,
ManMace.
look at.
ManMace. 100% Dacron. You can
Mm,
mix and match these rust-colored styled polyester leisure suits from the 70s.
look at those.
ManMates.
Look at those current colors. Now, you see, in my culture, if I see an ad for Man-Mates, I'm thinking that these are blow-up dolls that you bring home.
Hmm. Well, look, it says a great gift
Seriously.
value. A great gift value right there. So, ManMates and Eleganza, two of our new title sponsors for all your favorite 70s fashion faux pas.
Uh, I see bandmates and all I could think is, twins.
Is it a dating site? ManMates. I mean, you know, in the 70s, you could call a business ManMates and no problem. Now it's
Unfortunate
like,
business names.
well, yeah, in 2023, if you call your business ManMates, you're definitely going. There's a targeted audience, and there's definitely an element of tay prawn, as the kids sometimes say.
Uh, You're so not right in the head.
What? It's funny. On a
Oh,
more
my.
serious note, I saw this. This is a fridge magnet or a sticker that you can order. I think we should put this one on a T-shirt. This is from the Trevor
Ooh,
Project. Stickers that save lives. It has effectively it's half of a pie, and it's got all the colors of the rainbow. And it says
and then
for those
some.
of you who are listening, equal rights for others doesn't mean fewer rights for you. It's not pie. I like that.
Although, if there were an equal rights pie, I would take that with 2 scoops. Thank you very much.
Two
That
scoops
sounds
of
like a tasty, tasty pie.
2 scoops of the ice cream.
2 scoops of the ice cream, with my pie.
Anyway,
With my pie.
we dropped the puck là at center ice.
Ah,
That's why
yes.
it says CH on the Montreal Canadiens.
Right, center ice. That's why you dropped the puck.
Center ice, yeah.
Yes. All right. In the news, let's take a look at what we got today. Bit of a hodgepodge for you kids. Let's see. Going through my notes over here. Normally, I have something for you from you, so it's kind of weird to be kicking it off. Um, it seems that for people who like to get places faster, if you are living in the central Canadian area, well, that may be a reality soon because VIARail has recently announced its high frequency train program is about to get started. They've been talking about it a lot. If you've been riding the
Mhm.
rails, you've been seeing the advertisements, but it seems that it is now officially launched. It's a $15 million project, so I've been able to gather, which will have dedicated tracks for via trains in the Quebec City to Windsor corridor, because at the moment they are sharing rails with freight services, and the freight services have priority. So the Via Rail has to take a sidetrack and wait for the freight trains to go by, which
And
also means that the trains can't run. Mhm.
sometimes
Something.
that can take 20, 30 minutes, right?
Right, right, and it also stops everything pretty much on right.
Mhm.
Some things can move, but you can't get too close to the train in front of you. So that happens too. And because also there are some freight trains, the regular passenger trains can't go as fast as they could have
Right.
normally, because freight trains often travel slower.
Mhm.
So This one would allow a train to go up to 200 kilometers an hour, and it would reduce a 5-hour trip from Montreal to Toronto to about 4 hours and 10 minutes. Now, if we had a high-speed train or TGV, that would cost about $60 million rather than 15. So it's about 4 times the price, and it would reduce the time of the trip to probably about 3 hours.
Well, there used to be in the 70s, they had the turbo train, and it ran for a short time period.
Mhm.
And it was affected the same thing, because of the freight trains and this and that. So they ended up shutting it down. But the turbo train, I think, did it in about 3 hours.
Okay.
There's an entire YouTube series about it. If you want to look it up, Turbo Train, you can find it. It's quite fascinating, and there was some at the time like in-depth documentary, National Film Board of Canada type stuff about it. So really well done, and it's a shame it was shut down, but you know
Yeah.
things happen. Hopefully, we can get a TGV style high speed service at some point in time.
Yeah,
Uh,
that would be really good. Some people are calling for it now. They're saying, like,
yes,
let's bypass the high frequency and go right away. Because the TGV can go up to 300 kilometers an hour versus 200.
and I've
But
ridden
I,
on it.
pardon?
I've ridden the TGV and from
In
Geneva
Europe?
to Paris. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
ridiculously
what
fast. It's weird.
once you get a speed, your ears pop. It's
Yeah.
like because the pressure changes, right? They have to
Yeah.
pressurize the cabin, so it's kind of weird. It's like, but we're still on the ground. Why did my?
Yep.
But they
Yep.
pressurize
Yep.
it because of the speed. So
Yeah, it was really weird the first time because you're just if you try to look outside the window, things just go so fast.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. Um, so, in order to have either the high frequency or high speed train, things that are required is that because the trains are traveling that much faster, the tracks must be of better quality, so they need to be replaced. If we were going to have a high speed train, they would have to remove all the overpasses
Yes,
along the way. The entire length of the train track would need to be fenced in as well. So there goes the extra cost. That's how it goes from 15 to about $60 million. And tunnels would probably be required in city in Montreal and Toronto getting to the terminus. Um, California is in the process of building itself a high speed train, and that's where the pressure in Canada is coming from to try to skip the first step and go directly to the second. But I don't know how that's going to happen because, well, that first step is pretty much already on the way and has been studied and all that. But it is happening, so it's some progress. They've been talking about it for a while, and hopefully that will boost ridership between the Quebec City and Windsor corridors over time and allow to increase services, particularly out east and other places where they've been cut over the past while. So fingers crossed, but it's nice to see that the next evolution in rail is happening because in Canada, at least in the Quebec City Windsor corridor, that if they could get it down to a certain time, uh, it would be much more advantageous to trying to take a plane anywhere because the time to get to the airport and the time before you need the plane to take
hmm
off, and then all the time you're waiting, and then
security and yeah.
security, and then when you get off the plane, time to get from the airport back to downtown and all, it may just no longer be worth it.
Well, legitimately, my sister, she used to whenever she comes to Ottawa for business, she used to fly, and then she said, "This is stupid," because door to door, the train was the same time frame.
Yep.
So she would take the train from Union Station in downtown Toronto to Central Station here in Ottawa, and door to door, it was the same time frame because of the time it took her to get to the airport, get through security, get on the aircraft, blah blah blah. It was the same time. She said, and the advantage was she could work while she was on the train, and it's a lot more relaxing to take the train as opposed to it's a commuter flight basically. And when a commuter flight takes 4 hours door to door versus a train 4 hours door to door, and you can work the entire time and relax, it's just it's just a better situation. Now
It is.
we don't have a train that'll take us to Europe, so we're definitely still going to have to make the flight.
Oh, darn. It would be nice though, right? I'm still waiting for teleportation, to be totally honest.
Well, that's we're decades away from that.
I know, but still.
We do, they figured out a way to move a molecule of light 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters, a molecule of light.
Hmm.
The combined computational power on all of planet Earth today, every computer, handheld device, it's not enough to move an apple a foot.
Okay.
We just don't have the computational power to do it.
Hmm.
I watched a
That's
documentary about it. We're decades away from that. Decades
all right.
away.
That was
It'll
real.
happen someday because people are working on it, but it's not going to happen in our lifetime.
Hmm. It'll sort of mimic long distance relationships.
Yeah, I just finished watching Picard season 2. Season 3 is just about to start, and it's like the transporters they have in that are because it's in the future of the original Next Generation, which is this anyway. Literally, the transporters they walk through a door frame and they show up wherever they were going. They don't stand on a pad and get zapped. They just walk through a door frame and you show up wherever it was you wanted to be. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. I like that.
Mm-mm. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay. Let's talk about Skippy the dishes for a little moment. He has his next thing because he's pretty much squeezed all the juice he can out of the China lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Not much there. The other day, he decided that he was going to do this instead. Mr. Grizzly, if you would put this up.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seems broken and people feel like they're losing control of their lives after 8 years of Justin Trudeau.
Closer to 7, not 8.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who fancies himself a financial genius can't even count.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the victims of his failures include immigrants themselves, 2 million of whom.
He doesn't say how, really.
It's cute that he's singling out immigrants when the man is against. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So anyway,
are waiting in the queue to have their cases heard.
Yeah, we just had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a queue before that, and we had a queue when you guys were in government, and we had a queue. This is not new.
More than 1 million have been waiting longer than the acceptable delay time. Refugees, the number of refugees waiting in the system to have their cases heard has gone from 56,000 to 71,000, a nearly 1/3 increase.
Again, COVID.
And what would Pierre do?
What would he do? Yes, and the fact that the U.S. government, during the time of Trump, let people that had special permits in order to be able to stay, like people from Haiti that got caught in a natural disaster and they brought a couple over, and 20 or 30,000 said you could stay because you have the special permit, and Trump said that he was possibly not going to renew them, then a lot of people started moving north.
Yeah, go figure.
Because they thought that they were going to be sent back. So, this is a Trump thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
These are the failures of Justin Trudeau after 8 years. And nowhere is that chaos more evident than at Roxham Road, where Trudeau encouraged people to cross illegally into Canada. He's done so through.
Never did that.
No.
Never did that. And this is him again kissing up to about the 57 rural ridings in Quebec. This is him pushing that button. Do you hear the dog whistle?
Yes, I do. And I'm hard of hearing.
And through the system that he has set up that encourages crossings at that particular.
That's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. The system that was set up does not encourage crossings at that particular place. The system that was set up recognizes that crossings were happening at that particular place. And in order to be able to monitor the people who are coming into Canada, it was better to do an official intake process at that spot.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 6,000 kilometer border. We have a 6,000 kilometer border.
Actually, I think it's bigger than that, isn't it?
Yeah, but at least according to the Prime Minister, rounding for the soundbite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, there are plenty of places for people to cross. Right? Our agreement with the United States under the Safe Third Country Agreement at the moment says that you must make a claim in the first country you enter if you pass at an actual official border crossing. But if you don't, then the agreement doesn't apply. Now, the United States doesn't seem very keen on wanting to change that agreement because it allows them a loophole to, like, for example, those officers and border officers in New York State who are using company vehicles to drive people up or sending them out in buses, and then on their own spare time have actually started a taxi service business bringing them up to our border.
Pretty
And we
sure
also have the mayor of New York buying bus tickets to people and sending them up as well.
Pretty sure if they start doing stuff like that on their own time, that's a crime. But I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my word to the bank.
But I mean, right? This is not Justin Trudeau standing at the border and saying, "Hey, everybody, come on in." Like this. And just and for the record, when the prime minister goes on the TV and on the record and says that we're a welcoming country, that we will do what we can, like, that's not telling everybody, "Hey, come on in. It's a free for all." That's just telling people who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we are. And like everybody, probably we do have a limit as well that we can take at some point. But come on, it's not like we're just waving everybody in. Jen, yes, endless paper towel tyranny. Yeah, indeed. All right, let's keep on going with this awful diatribe.
Place who is not responsible for this problem. One, the refugees themselves.
Well, at least he's saying that.
Go figure.
They're just doing what Trudeau told them to do. He told them to cross at Roxham Road, and he created the infrastructure to facilitate it.
Lies.
Complete lie.
They're just doing what they're told. They're desperate people trying to do what all of us want, which is to create a better lives for themselves.
And here he is trying to make it hard for them to do it.
He spoke two truths in one.
He spoke two truths.
Wow.
But the part he didn't say, and that's why I'm here today, trying to prevent that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, because right now he's like talking like he cares about them.
Mm-hmm.
He don't give two timbits about them.
Nope.
And that's what Canada has been able to do. We've had a wonderful and successful immigration system.
We still do.
Up until 8 years ago.
And even over the past 8 years.
And 8 years ago, that would have been the Harper government.
Right.
Immigration system in the entire world. And we need more immigrants. But we need to have it done in an orderly and lawful fashion.
We are.
Mm-hmm.
If we are a real country, we have borders. And if this is a real prime minister, he is responsible for those borders.
Hello, Republican.
That is why Conservatives are calling for the prime minister to implement a plan to close the Roxham Road crossing within 30 days from now.
Okay, so Little Emperor comes down from on high and says, I've got a plan to solve this thing that's going on at Roxham Road. And my plan is to go in front of the media, blame Justin Trudeau for everything, and then command, because, I am not totally impotent at this current moment with the composition of things in the House, but command, because apparently I live in a world where as leader of the opposition, I give commands, the prime minister to solve the problem and do this in 30 days. Because, right, if border issues were things that were solvable in 30 days, well, then the United States would have done that like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And we would have done it by now at some point in the last 8 years.
I gotta lean in on this one, and it's like, Jake, is our Canadianness influencing you? Because cripes, that's a super Canadian term, dude. Cripes.
And speaking of James, the what you can do, I don't know
Jake.
if there's other Jake, sorry. Why the hell did I say James?
I don't know. James is on here as well, so maybe that's
why. That's why. Yes, I was speaking of him earlier. But I did watch the first What You Can Do thing is up. I watched it. I don't know if there's going to be a different cut of it at some point, or if that one's the one.
No, that's just the best stuff. That's the best stuff.
And it's a lot of fun. But there you go. I'm going to put the link up there. Oh,
yeah. I was just about to do that.
Yeah, there you go. I watched it yesterday, so thank you, Jake. It was a lot of fun. I actually laughed watching it back, which was kind of fun. So please, kids, if you have the time, go watch it. That's the best of. It's about 15 minutes, so Yep, it's well worth your time. So what's this? Is there a shortage of Viagra? Little PeePee seems angry. When is he not angry? As Lachlan Cross likes to say, he's a raging cock.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here we are with that one. So basically comes down from on high, gives an order, says you've got 30 days to do it. Right? I've got a plan. This is my plan. And like, really? Is this guy for real?
Well, somebody pointed out, oh, so Roxham Road's closed. So no one, and we're going to put up a fence and close Roxham Road. And no one will cross anywhere along our 6,000 plus kilometer border. Oh, you mean they won't just find another place, another hole in the dike that they can just pour on through?
Well, and that's exactly where you're going, right? So his plan is to invite the prime minister to play whack-a-mole,
Yeah.
basically. So here we go. We have Marty Patriquin, commentator, used to be with McLean's. And, I'm not sure who he's with now. But he basically said, Roxham Road goes north-south. Pierre Poliver can go on Google Earth and Google Maps and look this up. Roxham Road, 2 kilometers to the west, Upton Road, 2 kilometers to the west of that, Goki Road, 2 kilometers to the west of that, Holgo Road. Never mind 6,000 kilometers. People will just be going 2 kilometers in either direction, and it's going to be the exact same thing if we close Roxham Road. It's a cheap headline on the part of Pierre Poliver, and it's a cheap headline on the part of François Legault. And before we had Roxham Road, we had Emerson, Manitoba, where people rode to death.
So take your pick.
Right?
Closing Roxham Road will do nothing. Nothing.
It will literally just move the problem 2 kilometers down the road.
It's just
this
it's an
is
empty.
Pierre Poliver's super great plan for Canada. It's basically 3-card Monty, or the 3 cups that you move and there's a ball.
Yeah.
That's it. Just rearrange the deck shares and said you do some. The 14 signs of fascism. Number one of them, action for action's sake. And strength. Like, be strong. Just close it. You've got 30 days. Just close it. 30 days to implement a plan to close it.
It's part of Goebbels' playbook.
And then what?
Yeah.
Because the migrants are still coming. And here's a reality, Skippy the Dishes. I guess that probably most Canadians maybe not have clued into, so they're not realizing it, but this is the way of the world now. This is the way of the world now. Over 10, 15 years ago, they were predicting that climate alone was going to cause the biggest wave of migration. And when people can't grow anything and they can't drink because there's no water to grow food or water to drink, they are going to move. And there is no legal policy that's going to stop them because people like to live.
Yeah. It's one of the fundamental forces in the Abdullah Oblongata about the fight or flight. You will do whatever you need to stay alive.
Survive and reproduce. It's the 2 things we are genetically programmed to do no matter what.
Period. Yeah.
Right? Basic human nature 101. So don't be surprised that there are people coming through the border. And there are going to be more because things are not going to get better climate-wise.
Nope.
There's going to be more droughts. There's going to be more wars. There's going to be more fights over resources. This is the way of the world.
And guess who has all the world's fresh water? Like a friend of mine, she lives in Ohio, but she's originally from Minnesota, and she goes, "Yeah, this great state, the land of 10,000 lakes." And I go, "Oh, 10,000 lakes, that's adorable." She goes, "Why?" And I go, "There's like 130,000 in Quebec alone."
Right. So Prime Minister Justin Trudeau came up to the press yesterday and said it would be unfortunate to put up barricades and close Roxham Road only for border crossings to open up elsewhere along the 6,000 or so kilometers of border we have with the United States. Again, spicy Trudeau. The only thing missing at the end of that sentence was "you nitwit." It would be unfortunate to put up barricades and close Roxham Road only for border crossings to open up elsewhere along the 6,000 or so kilometers of borders we have with the United States. You nitwit. The Prime Minister's too classy to do it, but man, I'd throw a couple of toonies into the cup. Come on, do it. Do it. Do it. Mr. Grizzly, do we have more time, or is that a show?
We gotta roll. See, I'm not awake yet. I really am not awake yet. Yeah, we got to roll, sir. We got to roll. I got to get to the office, which means somehow in the next, what do we got? 13, 12, 15, 17 minutes, 17 minutes, 16, 17 minutes. I need to shower, change, clean up my beard, and get to the office. I'm going to be late this morning.
Oh my. Okay. Well then, one thing before we go, because this happened to yesterday, because we started with curling. So let us end with curling. Mr. Grizzly, if you
Okay.
could put this up.
Sure.
Yesterday at the Scotties Tournaments of Hearts, Team Saskatchewan, skipped by Robin Silvernagel, was playing against Team Nunavut. I can't remember her first name, unfortunately, skipped by McPhail. And this is before the last shot. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Wow.
6. And of course, the last shot was red. So before and after,
Holy
they made
crap.
the shot.
Wow.
Yeah, in one end, it went from 6-4 to 13-4, and they
Wow.
shaked hands after that. That was the end of the match, kids.
I
That was all.
believe we call that a slaughter.
We had that the other day. We played mixed doubles last week. Like, the other team scored 2, and then we scored 3, and then we scored 4. And it was not only that we were scoring 4s, like there were rocks like really, really close together. We were ticking them just on the corner side and just taking them out like surgical precision. And when they missed their last shot, they were like, "Okay, yeah, that's it. We've had enough. This is just too painful." I've never played a curling match where I had a team concede after 3 ends. Kind of felt good, I have to say. Kind of had a little bit of a strut when I walked off the ice.
I've got one screen quick here I got to share, and then we got to wrap because I'm really
All right.
running late. Let me just pull this down for a second here. National Observer calls for Trudeau to step down during a freedom convoy, in quotation marks, traced back to Russian proxy sites.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
Oh, пожалуйста. Jeez.
Russian propaganda site attacked Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, making false claims about his government, ordering the use of violence against demonstrators and mainstream media during last year's Freedom Convoy. The protest
like...
fired downtown Ottawa for 3 weeks and cost the Canadian economy nearly $4 billion. Well,
yeah.
La, 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 la. That's
Hong
the song
Kong.
I sing when I've been just vindicated and proven right once again.
Yep. You find it's actually funny. My beaver sweetie and I sing that when he's feeling a little romantic. He says, "Let's hold hands and sing a happy song."
The song that I sing is the Smurfs theme song. La la
Yep.
la la la
Sing a happy
la
song.
la la
Sing
la
a
la.
happy song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're all of 6. We're so sweet. We're cavity inducing. All right, kids. That's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Podcast. We hope you loved listening to us because we loved making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless, and yours are the mouths we want the good word coming out of. So please let your peeps know about us, because democracy is something that you do up until the 26th. I don't know if that will be extended given that they had all those aftershocks and extra quakes, but the government of Canada is matching donations up to $10 million to help our brothers and sisters in Syria and Turkey who have been affected by basically the biggest disaster to hit Turkey in decades. So if we were in the same situation, we would like help. So if you have the opportunity or the ability, please be neighborly and help out our friends. If you really liked this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network or on any platform where you find all fantastic quality podcasts hosted by a beaver and a grizzly. And there are so many of them. We stand out, but stars and reviews are really appreciated. If you have the time or the inclination, we would really, really like that. Thank you. It helps people find us when you do it. We love to hear from you. So reach us on our Face of Books at True North Eager Beaver, or on our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email at truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. And if you'd like to get our podcasts as soon as they are available, then subscribe to us via our patreon.com/truenorth. We're a couple of days behind on getting some shows that we recorded out, but we will get them to you kids. Don't worry about it. Also, subscribe to our True North Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel. That also helps us out. And I've noticed we've crossed the 160 mark, so slowly but surely, that's our wins the race. And we can't do this without you and your kind and generous support. If you feel that we've done a particularly good show, and if you're watching, you can scan the QR code that's just up there. And if you're listening, you can go to our tip jar, our coffee tip jar, ko-fi.com/Eager Beaver, all in one word, lowercase letters. That's ko-fi.com. Oh my God, that's an empty cup, Mr. Grizzly. /Eager Beaver, all in one word, lowercase letters. And that way you can show us your love by buying Mr. Grizzly a
I'll be
cup
right
of
back.
coffee. He clearly
You're
needs
going
one.
to see me in my underwear now.
Ooh, okay.
Lied.
Nope.
I changed the camera so you wouldn't.
He likes to tease. So you can buy a cup of coffee for Mr. Grizzly or a mug of hot chocolate from me. Again, coffee, ko-fi.com/Eager Beaver, all in one word. And finally, we've got that smooth, sleek, and styling quality Eager Beaver merch that you love and demand. And if you put that little QR code at the bottom of the screen that Mr. Grizzly put up before he went to go get himself a cup, ooh, just the right amount of tease there, just so we saw the flowers. You can
Not
go
flowers.
to. Oh well, okay. See that we didn't even get a long enough look at it to see what they were, but there was an interesting pattern and nice colors. So yes, you can go to that QR code. Oh, we see that someone just scanned it. Thank you very much. And you can get yourself some Mr. Grizzly Civics tees or Eager Beaver tees designed by our good friend Kit Pete Jarvis. And we have something for everybody, small to 3XL. Boost your romantic energy this month by 18.4% by wearing our merch. Now, before we go, of course, I always say, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. And thank you so much to the kids who have been making those really, really kind comments today. Like Beaver and Grizzly deserve more followers. I'd like to see the chat have up to 50 people one day. That would be something. From Kit Bissarica. We would love that too. Mr. Grizzly, before we go, do you have some words of wisdom for us? Because we need them.
No, but I am going to order a T-shirt today. I figure I should probably order, the thing we're selling. I am ordering a shirt today.
You're ordering a shirt today?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not necessarily an early adopter. Let's see if this thing's going to pan out.
Okay.
Mr. Grizzly, roll them credits. You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. And Kit Miss Sarika's on fire. Showers are overrated, Paul. Just slap on some Old Spice and you're good to go. There you go. Helpful advice from the kids.
Old Spice. See you later.